first weekend of October every year in Port Elgin. This year's actually a big year for them because it's their 25th anniversary. It's definitely one of the best festivals around. We've won numerous awards for it, and it's great family fun. Family fun second to none. Come to Pumpkin Fest first weekend of October.
Great. And could you please tell us what Port Elgin is famous for?
Other than Pumpkin Fest, I would have to say our sunsets. Southampton and Port Elgin, right along the lake. It's beautiful. Can't go wrong.
All right, thank you. That's good. No, thank you.
No.
Robert Nicholson, Secretary Treasurer, retired of the CAW.
And Barry?
To know about the history of the CAW.
The history of the CAW started in 1982 when we started bargaining with Chrysler, General Motors, and Ford with Bob White, Buzz Horgo, and Bob Nicholson, myself. We started talking about a breakaway from the UAW. At that time, there was negotiations taking place with Chrysler, General Motors, and Ford, and most of our negotiations took place in the United States, run by the UAW. We got into a conflict with the UAW about the issues of whether or not there should be bonuses or salary increases. At that time, and that all brought a CAW-UAW clash to a head and created a separation of the UAW to the CAW.
It wasn't the CAW.
No.
UAW Canada.
UAW Canada, and then the CAW Canada came out of that.
And they wouldn't let us have the UAW name. They changed it to CAW.
They wouldn't allow us to take the name with us when we transferred. I was delegated to go and negotiate with the UAW to transfer the funds over to Canada from the UAW, which took a little bit of convincing about what we should be entitled to after all the years that we participated. Back into 1936, when it was first put together, and Ruther was involved. We then negotiated a settlement which brought a large amount of money over to Canada, and we set up our own union. Canadian auto workers set up their own union with a lot of criticism from the press, a lot of criticism from the industry, a lot of criticism from bankers and other people in the country that said we couldn't make our way as an independent union. Excuse me, I think we're now 30 years later, and here we are with a beautiful center here and doing a wonderful job at doing our job. And we led major bargaining and continue to fight today to make sure there isn't necessarily bonuses that are put in place, but there are wage increases that take place for workers that puts it in their pocket and the continuation of their cost of living. Things are happening today that are not necessarily the way they were in the early days in 1984, 85 when we broke away and set up our own union. I was the first secretary-treasurer of the organization, worked with Bob White and Buzz Horgo.
So you want to know a little bit about who Rob Nicholson is? Wow, what an interview that we just had, learning a little bit about the history of the CAW. I'm very honored to be able to have the opportunity to film Mr. Rob Nicholson. And just to know a little bit more about him and his wife. Such lovely people, and it's just an honor to be to have the time with him. But here's a little caption of what was pointed out to us about the bar here in Nick's Lounge. Here's a little caption of Mr. Robert Nicholson and his contributions to CAW and his involvements over the years. There's a plaque commemorating his efforts in Nick's Lounge, and we just had a chance to review some of it, and it's just absolutely impressive. And what better place to have our time here over the course of the week to be having some fun in Nick's Lounge.
We are from the Union School. Could you please tell us about the HMS General Hunter?
The HMS General Hunter is an old ship. It's buried on the beach, not far from here, between here and Southampton. The ship is an old ship that was found buried in the sand. They've taken all of the sand away, and looked at it, did some tests on it, and then they reburied it to keep it so that it's not going to rot and fall apart. But it's not very far away from here, and it's an interesting ship to look at, all made of wood.
Thank you very much then. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
You too.
What a trip around the CAW. We met all kinds of amazing personalities and people involved in the history of the CAW. And we've had some really great interviews as well. And many thanks to Barry for being an amazing interviewer, and what a professional. And we've got all kinds of amazing information, and expanded our awareness of the CAW. So thanks, Barry. You're the best.